Well, it's one of those sessions, guys. I've just turned up. It is 3:30 in the afternoon. There's a match on the other side of about 12:15 guys. Loads of just day ticket anglers here. So I've just dropped in whatever hole there is here at Watmore. But the last time I came here, I found a really weird looking float. Just drifted in the margins, you know. I thought, what's that all about? So I can gather by looking at it, because it says on it, well, so the make, pellet waggler, 10 gram. But it's got this huge cone area there. And what I've done is rig it up, because I figure pellet waggling with pellets is sort of the norm. It's done in matches and stuff like that. But I've rigged it up, just sliding like this. I've got to put a stop the other side, otherwise it just slide completely up the line. Swivel, some of my reel line there, and I've got about 4 feet to nice large hooks. I've got to try pellet waggling with bread. But this, I think, is like some self-striking, because surely as a cart pulls on that, that's why the float's going to be fixed, that cup's going to maybe set the hook, I don't know. Fingers crossed it will anyway. And maybe I've got to hold the rod, maybe I've got to put the rod down, I'm not sure. But I'm going to do just basically a bit of ground bait, bit of bread, all slopped up in there, it's a real mess. Just keep bombing it out there when there's not a lot being caught. Andy came out the owner, he says quite a quiet day today, even though there's a match on. And just see if I can get fish pellet waggling with bread. Just going to be using just regular slice bread, but I'm going to use in big chunks because the roach demolish it here. Fold it down, so I just fold it once, get my hook, put the hook point through, just hold it and squeeze. You can see that around the bend of the hook, then it sinks, but the hook point's in the soft fluffy bit. Get some ground bait balls out there and see if we get any bites on this float. I'm going to be fishing a free line rod just round to the right here. Going to put a bit of ground bait out on that as well. Man, this, you go to wind this float in and it certainly has some drag to it, but already I've got some wind drift to contend with out there, so I'm going to cast further up, hopefully with my bread on the hook next time. That's the trouble with bread, you get like one cast out of it generally. If I don't catch anything with the waggler float, this weird one, then I shall go to just free lining. And that way I can put a bait just on the bottom. Got to be worth a shot. The float is free. Wow, does it catch the wind? Maybe I should sink it like a proper waggler float. So this one I'm just going to chuck round the side here. Float just went under. The float absolutely just went under, guys. Oh my goodness me. I missed that one big time. Just literally around those bushes. That's my sort of backup bonus, if you like. And another heave-ho out there. Hang on. Get out there. The thing is, bread is cheap to use. Mix it with a bit of bran, 2 or 3 loaves on there, and the cheapest bread you can buy. And generally you'll find there's not many species that it won't catch. It's a howling day, so you're going to get some wind in the mic, I feel. And I'm trying something different called toasting bread. It's thick cut, so I don't know, but it feels like it's a little bit more doughy. It's a gigantic piece of flake, a BB shot. I just dip it once, I'm just going to flick it down there, in the margins, let it sink slowly, always back the drag off, just in case, and just leave it to fish on its own. Right, let's try the float again, because I definitely did have a bite on this. Although I call it self-hooking, it can't, because it didn't hook itself, did it? I don't see it being a roach pulling that float under like that. We should try again. And think I've got to cast it harder, and I've got to sink it, and I've got to hold it. When I stand a pellet waggling, they put the rod in the rest, or very, very close to them, because they're catapulting all the time. 4, 5, 6 pellets all the time, every, I guess, 20, 30 seconds. This way, oh, a little tap then. This way you think the fish will hook itself. Maybe, bite, missed it. Could be roach, could be roach. And I actually got the bread back that time. But I'll show you the float. You can see is that sort of cup attachment to it, so as it pulls down, that cup actually helps create some resistance. Not sure I like it. Maybe Matchman use it, I don't know. Let's give it another go. I'm not going to write it off yet. It certainly catches the wind for sure. Third cast, guys, third cast. You've got to hold the rod, you've got to sink the line. I've missed one on the inside here on the right. And obviously now I'm worried I might lose this float, because it might actually be something different. It looks like a common carp, and he's going for the rushes, which I don't want him to come out of there. Look, not a big fish. And that was definitely, oh, I thought we were a roach early on. I don't think they were a roach. You guys can see the action here. I think I should have put myself in this match over there. Pellet waggling with bread. It's called bread waggling, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Bread waggling. I'm on a bread waggler float. Oh God, I can't reach it. The bonus being I can leave this rod here on the right, and it's fishing close in, it's out the way. Yeah, that's a little mirror, small mirror carp. I've noticed a lot here at Watmore that they do dig when they get in close. A bit like this one is going nuts now. Come on, he's in. So, there's my mix of slop. Just do a pinch together like this. One on the inside. A couple out there, and I'm using that pylon as a sort of marker there. Then while that's sinking, I can still see the ripples there. I'm going to go harder left, bosh, try and sink it. Now that float has set, it's, you won't see it out there, but it's cocked. And now the bread is sinking much slower. It's going through the water column, and as soon as that dips under, hopefully, should be a fish. And I'm holding the rod this time. Any time now, I would think. And you might get some wind in the night, guys, because they've given a bit of a horror story tonight with a lot of rain coming in. And here at Watmore, got some nice rushes around the edge here, reed beds, trees, etc. Can't look away, I missed the bite. So you can always find somewhere sheltered. It's sort of circular. So, I mean, the smooth areas over there where those lads are fishing. Get the wind off your back. Oh, that was a bite. Now look how I've gone to over there, and I'd actually cast up here. So that's the downside of the pellet waggler. It does get dragged with sort of subsurface drift there. Missed it. Man, there's some resistance on these floats when you strike, for sure. I'm going to give it another go. I'm using, this is just show you this bread. It's thick cut. I'm quite impressed with it. Toasted or something it's called now. Toasty, thick cut toasty bread. So for all you bread enthusiasts out there, it's better than the other normal standard stuff. I feel, certainly for flake fishing, it seems to be pretty good. So there it is, it's going straight out, back out there. I cast it quite hard, sink the line straight away. What I'm going to do is going to follow up if I can without losing the rod. Oh man, that was right on the float. That throw was absolutely on the float. Nice disco or something crashing over the background. I'm going to jack the drag up a little bit here because, wow, party time over there. Oh, I missed him. So I'm out there, guys. Holy cow. Fish on the inside. Fish on the inside, guys. You might have seen that on camera before I did. There's just, oh, I get bites on the float. Is it going to be double trouble? I think not. It has happened before. I'm watching the float and I'm playing the fish up here at the same time. Do not want to lose my lucky Avon rods. It's pretty down the bucket. At least that way I hear the bucket drag. So you can see by fishing that bonus rod just down under that bush. It's in my eyesight. I'm watching the float here so I can easily see it. I don't need any buzzers or anything like that. Good fish too. And does not feel a bad old fish actually. Oh, he's out there. He's out there. Does not feel a bad fish, guys. So you never neglect any margins, even these little reeds and rush stems down here. Just that slight overhang there. I'm not sure what to make of this fish. He's coming in like he's the biggest fish, you know. Don't want him turning around if I can help it. I think that's a big common. I think this is a big fish, guys. I think this is a big fish. When I say big, I mean approaching double figures. I'm going to go and back wind. That is a ka-chunk of. Too late, pal, you're in. Holy cow, that's a good fish. Oh, that's a double easy. That's an easy double. There we go, guys. Looks like about 11.5 pounds in the net. 12 something with the net, just took the net off. Margin fishing. Bred again. Wow, 11.5 pounds. I've been here 30 minutes, guys, and that's with filming as well. I'm very, very impressed with this toasty bread. There we go. So I just fold it once, put the hook through, roll it, hold the bend and fold it back, just twist it. I want the point clear, give it one dip. Distance, cast it out about 7 feet. Let it sink slowly. I'll keep the rod quite well back. This is my rear rod rest. And now let's get the float rod sorted, which might or might not be tangled. Man, that was a nice carp. Disco time in the pub up the road. Shame it, ruin everybody's Sunday, but that's the way it is. I feel another fish coming on that margin rod. Alright, here goes the float rod. Stop it, sink it fast. You can't afford to wind it too many times because the bread will come off. That's sinking and sinking and sinking. It's just going down at normal speed. There's no other shot under that float. There's absolutely nothing, so it will sink at a slow. Look, if you get a bite on the way down, you might miss it because there's a lot of slack. There's 4 feet of slack, but after about, I figure 10 seconds about now, that should be at the bottom end of the line from the float. It's tight from the bait to the float, and that's the time if they do take it, the float should go under. That's the theory. I'm not sure it's any more successful than the standard pellet waggler float, that one, to be honest. Oh. Perhaps I spoke too soon, guys. Oh dear. Oh dear me. Bread waggling is the way to go. I've got to keep my eye on this other kiddie on the right here. See the match over there over there. Guys, they're just blowing the whistle on that one. And that's a good time as far as I'm concerned for picking a few fish up, because after about half an hour or so they're going to start coming around looking for the throw-ins where the guys throw their bait in. Well, well, well. Bread waggling, who'd have thought it? And a lot cheaper than buying pellets by a good portion. 40p for a loaf of supermarket bread. But guys, I was nearly back to the fish pulled off. Right in close, just bumped off the hook. I was giving him a good bit of welly. I'm not surprised. Back out again with my toasty bread. Tasty toasty. But first, just a smidgen or two. I'll try and break it into 2 balls like this. I want to go over there a little, that's better. I don't mind if it doesn't go in as 1 ball, as long as it's in a standard sort of area. And then there I still see the ripples. Look where I throw the bit, it goes straight in those ripples, slightly overcast. 1, 2 turns to sink the line. Wait, I'm holding it, holding it, holding it, holding it. I fear you might lose a rod fishing like this otherwise if you put it down. Now that's sort of 10 seconds, that's where the bread should be at the length of the trace or leader. So it should all be tight from the float to the bait. That's the idea of it. Of course the wind is going to act on this bow on my actual physical line and gradually creep it and drag it out of position. But by that time the small fish have probably had the bread off anyway, so I'm giving it maybe maybe 2 minutes, and then I'll come in for a recast and then some more bait. Got plenty of bed there, I've got two loaves there. What I should do is move that rod rest over and I can actually rest. Oh, I missed it. That's Smith's fault. That boy at the back, he never listens, always distracting me. That's quite amazing, guys. You know, I don't know whether they're carp pulling this float under or whether they're roach. I feel a carp would have taken that bread off, you see. I don't think the roach would have got that off. One pinch. It's actually quite a doughy bread, this toasty stuff. Being a heavy float, you can actually cast it quite hard and stay direction. It doesn't fade off too much. I thought it did first, but I basically wasn't casting it hard enough. Well guys, this float does actually self-hook. Because I've had 2 now. And I just looked up, the float had gone, I was looking, thinking it drifted. There's no way they had held it under like that. So there must be an element of self-hooking with that float. So that obviously is worth knowing. If you guys are beginners out there, might help you get carp. It's blowing up, it's not a big fish, it's blowing. Wind's coming in my face a little bit now. It's another mirror carp. And I'm gonna catch one in a minute, I hope. I'm gonna put the bait out, a most unusual bait that some of you might not have seen before. And do you know what? I think I might catch a fish on it. Certainly give me a scrap. So guys, I spoke to an angler, came up to me, and he said that that cap bit there, if you can see that, not only helps you hook when the fish goes down, but you can put ground bait in there as well. Little pinch of ground bait round, there were some pellets and ground bait, so that's worth knowing as well. So 2 ways of fishing this float. It is a bit of a bizarre creation, it definitely does work, but you don't want to take your eyes off it because I think it makes the fish bolt and then you could lose your rod off the rest, so don't take your eyes off it. What do you think, guys? Catch a fish on a piece of banana? I tell you what, this used to be one of the old baits in the 50s and 60s for margin and close in fishing around lily pads. And you can cast it quite a long way. In fact, I'm going to save myself the job of eating this. I'm going to cut some segments off. And do you know what? I'm going to try and catch one down the side here. We used to have to put a crust pad on it. I just missed a bite, by the way. I'm going to put a crust pad on it so you cast farther. I'm going to make out of a piece of crust. I've got the float rod out here, and that self-hooking float, self-hooks all right. Beetles on it. You want a nice piece of the end of sliced bread. And now what these flies are, I'm just going to cut strip like that, and very small, because this is only to support the hook. Man, there's a hatch of flies going on here. So I've got my crust pad. I'm going to get my section of banana. Throw that. Oh God, yeah, missing bites all the time, guys. Just going to cut this section off like this. We used to use much bigger pieces. I'm going to cut it in half again. Where's the hook? Now, I've got half a piece of banana. I'm going to push a hook through there. Please don't rain on me. Bring the hook out like that. And then the secret is put the casting pad on. It's easier once I've actually got it hooked on there. That goes there. I turn it up that way. The banana goes just over the top like that. And that's how we used to fish whole segments around by the side of lily pads years and years ago on a link ledger. And I'm going to put it down there and see if anything grabs it. I'm going to go hungry for you people in the name of science. Guys, hooked up on the banana, believe it or not. There's something is not right with it. It's a big, big, heavy thing. I've no idea whether it's fouled or what it is, but it's stripped me out in the middle of the lake. We're about to get lashed on big time. I don't know if this is a big fish or whether this is fouled. It does not feel right. It feels immense. It feels like I've hooked a seal on the banana just as the rain set in. I don't think it's a big fish, but they all count. Certainly that self-hooking float business, I'll show you in a second. Somebody's come up that apparently knew me at school, one of the schools I went to, or one, I think it was the only one, and showed me a little tip on that float as well. It's self-hooking, you can put ground bait in it. Let's get this fish in first. Let's get the banana fish in first if we can. The rain is coming. The umbrella is up. The award is there. Come on, I don't want to get wet tonight. I just want to get a film done. Why do they fight so hard? It can be really annoying at times, can't it, you know? You want to catch them, but you don't want to catch them. Come on, Mr. Banana Carp. Here he comes. He's coming. I think it's a common. I don't really want to get outside if I can help it too long. It's got the head cam on. It's in a waterproof case, but I've drilled holes in it to take the mic. So, microphones and wet weather do not go together well. I'm going to have to dive out there in a second, guys. Show you my my carp on a banana. And I've still got banana left out. I've still got some bait left. Oh, and fishery doesn't shut for a while yet. You might if this weather keeps getting worse. Come on, fish man. Live, what did you think? He's blackfin tuna or something? The boils of water he's throwing up. There he is. There he is. I'll take a risk. I'll get water on the lens. I'm going to ping this one off. I'm giving it too much swelly. Don't want to get wet. Give them the down and dirty. Turns them over normally. Tip them back the other way. Now I've got him, I think. Get here, banana carp, boys. Don't get any better than that. That, by the way, I'm down to one rod now. That, by the way, is number 8. I'll chuck a bit of bread down the banana corner on the plantation. I can't really get out where I want now because the wind's blowing so much. I can't see me staying too much longer. Might as well get it while you can, boys. In fact, another thing you can do, get a couple of slices of bread, people, especially at the end of the day. Soak it like this. Your bubbles coming out of it, not too much. Now mush it up in your hands, squeeze most of the water out first. That's it. And you'll find the sliced bread, keep grinding through it with your thumb. It uses all your leftover bait, that's what I do. But mash it all up small. Because it's not too wet, you should be able to throw this out in two or three goes. Right. Squeeze it into a ball, squeeze the moisture out of it. Ooh. See, it didn't come apart. It will in the water, but you haven't wasted anything there. Oh, and you haven't fed the ducks either. Brilliant. And then follow that up with a piece on the hook, the float, or as I'm going to be doing, a piece of banana. Yes sirree. 6 baits left there, boys. I'll just touch ledgering with one at the moment, playing with it. I've got my banana out there, but I just can't quite cast far enough with these winds come up because all the rain's coming in. I just can't get where I want to get, so I've got such a horrible forecast. I think I'm going to call it quits. Oh, hang on a minute. Bits of crumbs down there. A lot of slurping going on. Hooked up, boys. It is tipping down. Most people are packing up and going. I'm going to have to go after this one if I get this one. It doesn't look a bad fish, and he has given me some major dingo. I'm trying to stay under the brolly. I'm getting near the stage that I'm going to have to buy some more line soon because it gets twisted after a while. If I get this one in, I'm going to call it quits. Fingers crossed. Coming number 2, banana carp. Mind you, he's still a way out there. Still way out there. What a horrible night. They've given this all night. He is spooling me a little. Back on the fight, guys, getting closer and closer, but oh, look at that. Gonna have to switch off again. Nice looking fish, this, guys. I'm gonna try and get it if I can. I'm not gonna screw around. I think he's about 9-10 pounds. If I can get him, I will do. I got him, boys. That's what I call banana fish. About 11 pounds. Oh yes. That is a lump. I might go 12. It's a long time since I've had a double on a piece of banana. A banana carp. What a beauty that is too. Look at those scales. Absolutely perfect and behaving himself. Dare I try and get a picture holding it. Second double of the session. Yes, fish go about the same as the other one, about 11 pounds. Thanks for watching the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. Don't forget to watch Mike's Totally Awesome Outdoor Show. Get your copy of the Awesome Angler, free download. Watch out for the next fishing film.